Can I have your attention, please?
Welcome to Leadership Tuesdays. Today we're on location at the Carl M. Freeman Company. They are the successful developers of award-winning residential and golf communities and neighborhood shopping centers. Michelle Freeman is the chair and president of the company, as well as two family foundations, the Joshua M. Freeman Foundation and the Carl M. Freeman Foundation. The Joshua M. Freeman Foundation operates the Freeman Stage at Bayside in Fenwick Island, Delaware. Ms. Freeman is an entrepreneur, a philanthropist, and proud mother of 3 children. She is also a minority partner in Monumental Sports and Entertainment, which owns the Mystics, Wizards, and Capitals, as well as the Verizon Center. Earlier this year, she was recognized as an inspiring woman, along with Monumental Sports and Entertainment Vice Chair Sheila Johnson and WNBA President Laurel Richie.
So I did take the CEO position and chairman of the board. Yeah, it's been 3 or 4 years now. And I think for every leader, I think the people that you choose to surround yourself with is critically important to attaining your goals. I would say, my father-in-law used to say, you should always surround yourself with people smarter than you. And so the team I currently have, which took some time to get there, is a team that I have great respect in and for. And you know, they're people that work really hard and share a lot of the same common values as me and the values of the company. So they're reflective of who we are as a culture. Any one of them, I would let them watch my kids, okay. Or, you know, build a development for me. And somewhere for me, those two things are interchangeable. So that is one important lesson I've learned. I think the second one is, you know, John Mayer had that song, Say What You Mean to Say. You know, and I think that no one's served when your voice isn't heard. And so, you know, to just say it. And again, I love that saying, say what you mean what you say, don't say it mean. You know, there's a way to say what you need to say. You know, and when you step over things as a leader, they always come back to get you. You know, so whether it's a hard conversation with someone who works for you or a partner in some business that you're in, or, you know, someone you're involved with in some way, and you choose to step over that hard conversation, it always comes backdoor. It always ends up being bigger or greater, you know, the next go around. And what I find, the lessons I have to learn for myself, they just keep presenting themselves. And I have to deal with them. I just have to deal with them. So I say it's much easier to just do it. You know, just, you know, make the time, put it on your calendar and do it. And then I think the third greatest lesson I learned is to trust that when you think you can do something, you actually can. And that there are going to be naysayers in your life. There are going to be people that say, you're not fit to do that, or, you know, wow, she's really full of herself to think that she can. And you have to combat those voices with your own voice inside that says, I can do anything that I set my mind to. It's interesting, a lot of people talk about this idea of, you know, what do they call it, where you actually feel like you shouldn't be where you are. You know, you have that feeling, imposter, it's the imposter syndrome, where I shouldn't be here for some reason. And as quickly as that comes, and it will, like, wow, maybe I don't have the skills to do this job, you have to fill your own tape and fill your own thinking of, yes, but I can do all these other things, you know. I have someone in my life, a mentor, and another woman who I trust. I think they're incredibly important to all leaders, but especially women leaders. And she always says to me, there are plenty of leaders that, are good at some things and not others. And, to humbly ask for help in the things that you're not great at is okay. It doesn't make you less of a leader. In fact, it makes you a stronger leader. So, yeah, it's been an interesting couple of years of, you think it's about the organization, and really you end up learning more about yourself than anything.
All that I've read about Mr. Carl Freeman, the founder of the Carl Freeman Companies, and Joshua, his son, your late husband, is that they were good and generous men, and they really gave back in the communities where they did business. What do you hope your legacy will be?
So the company is 66 years old, and when I think about that, because I'm in the day-to-day, it's like, you're in it. And so you don't think about this long history. But always in the back of my mind, I think, one of the top things for me is protecting this legacy. My father-in-law came from nothing. He collected cans at one point, and he came from a Jewish immigrant family in Manchester, Massachusetts, or Worcester, Massachusetts, and no one would buy a house from a Jewish man, and so he had to change his name. I think built into his spirituality and his religion in the Jewish faith was this feeling like, they call it tzedakah, which is the greatest kind of philanthropy you can do is anonymous. But that whenever you're successful, part of your responsibility is to give back. It's just part of who they are as a culture and a religion. I think my husband took that kind of to the next step and said, companies who have a vibrant philanthropic piece to them, as part of their culture, they have a buy-in from their employees that are different. And so my employees know that I sleep out, for the Covenant House. And my employees can volunteer at the Freeman stage. And before we go and eat a big fat Christmas lunch on December 20th, my employees will, go to the wider circle in Rockville, Maryland, and help distribute clothing and furniture to the poor. I think there's a different feeling in a company when it's just not all about, the bottom line. It's about making the communities you live in better. My partner in the Caps and Wizards, Ted Leonsis, calls that the double bottom line. Where not only companies looking at your profit and loss statement and, whether you're successful in that sense, but are you fulfilling people that work for you and outside your company in a different way? I think we do that. My legacy, I think my legacy is three-pronged in my life, really. My legacy is to, my first and foremost legacy is to raise children who are productive, passionate, giving people, right? So if I've done or will do that, I will have felt like my life was a success. I think then I have this incredible opportunity to do it in two other areas, and that's my business, which I just described as, building great shopping centers, having a place where people can go in a resort like Delaware at Bayside and experiencing vacations or summers with their family and friends. Having great golf courses where people say, God, that was a great day. I had a great, fun time. And doing all that, that piece of the business while imparting some piece of being a woman into that development, real estate, sports business that maybe that wasn't there before. And, that might be from design and how I look at something a little different than a guy would, a man would. My even my executive team, or it could be about a diaper changing station or a fountain, or the way a mom looks at parking once and being able to do everything she needs to do in a shopping center because she only wants to take her baby out of that car seat once and be able to do everything she needs to do. And so my glasses are a little different, the way I look at things. So I'd like to, you know, when it's the next Freeman's turn to run the company, I'd like people to say, she created community through thoughtful design. You know, she paid attention to the details on her properties, and she made sure that there were places in neighborhoods where people felt like it was okay to gather and, you know, go have a good dinner and sit with their kids outside. And as far as the sporting world, I have no idea, you know, what I impart to that partnership, except that it's a female voice along with Sheila Johnson's that they hear. And I have to say that, you know, I'm lucky that my partners are receptive. They hear me and love me, and have loved me through some pretty tough times in my life. And then thirdly, my philanthropic, or, you know, the foundation piece is that I think one person can make a difference, you know, and I think the sports teams have given me this beautiful platform to speak out on what I think is unacceptable, and whether that's, you know, teenage homelessness at Covenant House, or the Ark, and being on Mississippi Avenue in Southeast and raising funds for them, or you know, my own work with the Freeman Stage and the Joshua M. Freeman Foundation, you know, that arts are this great equalizer. So, you know, I've said this before, but you sit in the audience and you listen to Beethoven, and Beethoven doesn't care if you're rich or poor, black or white, you know, male or female. It washes over you in the exact same way. And I think when people know that the arts give them options, that there's beauty, that there's hope, and in the world, they make different choices. You know, they see life a little differently. And so I hope that, you know, the Freeman Stage won a bunch of accolades this past week that I'm incredibly proud of, and I'm proud of that team of people that work so hard. But, you know, mostly I'm proud that when you win the accolade, it's not the accolade itself, it's that one more person might, you know, bring their child to a free performance and say, oh, you know, maybe I could play the violin, or maybe I could sing like that person, or maybe I could dance like that ballerina. And that's a fabulous feeling.